What is up, everybody? My name is Buck Thomas.
I'm Christian Carlson.
We're here with the first ever episode of the Spread Podcast. It's a gambling handbook, gambling-oriented podcast because you're listening to two very experienced gamblers at the moment.
Yes, a little background on us. Buck and I have been friends for a very long time. We have been sports wagering now for a few years, and we figured out a recipe where we have higher success rate when we sit down and we discuss each game.
It's true.
And so we just figured we record it and make a podcast, so that's where we are now. And so we wanted to, well, this edition we were going to talk about the NFL.
Championship rounds, two huge games, two very difficult games to call, but we're going to attempt to make the calls because we haven't missed a game yet in the playoffs.
We have been very hot in the playoffs.
And we don't want to brag, it's just this is a true fact here.
Yeah.
All four divisional calls and all the wild calls. We're a little drunk right now. We're drinking snake bites.
That's part of our show. We like to drink during our shows.
Snake bite is a mix of Strongbow and a shock top in a glass, and it's excellent. So
21 and over.
21 over, yeah. Let's get right into it, CC. Rams versus Saints.
So the Saints beat the Rams the first time they played. Mm-hmm. They beat them by 10.
Yes.
But a few things have changed since then, since that matchup. For one,
Rams didn't have Talib.
Yeah, Aqib Talib is back in the matchup, and we could touch on that later in more depth, why that is such a big deal.
He's their best cover corner, best all-around corner.
But also the Saints have gotten hit with a couple injuries now that are pretty big.
The Saints have injuries, and I don't know if a lot of people know about these injuries because they're not big-name players, but they're going to affect the outcome of the game not having these guys.
The Saints have sort of made a name for themselves this year on their defense, with their rush defense, because prior to this they had a very bad defense all around. So they did lose a defensive lineman last week in that matchup. He tore his Achilles.
It's a big loss going up against Gurley and C.J. Anderson, who they formed a great 1-2 punch last week. A lot of people didn't see that coming. C.J. and Gurley both getting over 115 yards.
The Cowboys have a good defense.
And the Cowboys have a good defense.
They have a stellar defense.
They had a healthy Sean Lee, and they still ran all over him.
Gurley rushed for 115 yards.
Yes.
And C.J. rushed for 123 yards.
Yes. A lot of people didn't see that coming.
So we think that if the Rams are able to run the ball well, that they can control the pace of the game, keep the ball out of Brees' hands.
Goff will make the throws he has to make.
Right. Well, that's another aspect, too. The Rams are missing Cooper Kupp, which is a big deal.
He's been out.
He's been out a long time.
Yeah.
But he was, I believe he was playing when they were playing the Saints. He was still in.
He was a killer. He killed me in fantasy.
He's a great player.
Every time I played.
But
he's awesome.
The Rams still have plenty of weapons with Robert Woods and Higbee.
And we're picking the Rams. People need to understand we're not Rams fans. We are from LA, but we're not Rams fans. So this is not an emotional pick, which is something that me and CC strongly advise against. Any emotional bets, you're going to lose the bet.
That's a big learning curve too. That took a long time.
Yeah, it took a long time. If you're hot and you want to make the last bet of the night, don't make it. If you're cold and you want to turn it around on the last bet of the night, don't do it. You're going to lose.
Yeah.
Don't make emotional bets.
Yeah.
Learn it here from the Spread Podcast.
So another injury that the Saints have is one of their linemen. Their guard. He broke his hand. He's going to be matching up with Donald.
Aaron Donald, the best.
Debatably one of the best.
The best.
He is the best, right?
Yeah, probably the best.
Yeah.
So
he's had a stellar year. Even though the last few weeks he's been kind of cold, but he's been getting double teamed at the line.
Still getting pressure.
And then you saw Sue come out against the Cowboys and have the best game of the season.
Because Donald's there getting the double teams.
Right. So,
it's a beautiful thing, actually, to see.
We're going to have a guard out there with a broken hand trying to double team Donald. He's going to, huge disadvantage.
What about on the other side, the Saints offense? What are they going to do? What do they need to do to beat the Rams? They're going to run a lot of quick passes to Kamara to get the pressure off the inside.
Right.
They're going to look for Thomas and the medium range passes like they always do.
Right.
And then they have a couple deep threats. Treadwell. They have some deep threats for Breeze.
Yeah.
But it's going to be Talib versus Michael Thomas, right?
That's really the big matchup to watch.
Two of the best right now. And we can't wait for that matchup.
A couple statistics for you here on Aqib Talib. So when the Saints played the Rams the first time around, the Saints obviously won. But another stat for you is that points per game, when Talib was off the field, the Rams averaged 31 points against. They were scored 31 points on. And then when Aqib Talib was on the field, they only let up 17 points. That's almost in half.
It's a 2 touchdown differential having him out there.
Passing yards per game, when Talib was out, they let up 272. And when Talib was in, they let up 200.
Yeah, it's huge. It's a huge difference.
These are huge numbers.
I mean, that's something you expect from one of the best in the game.
Their TD to interceptions. So when Talib is on the field, they had 8 to 12. And then when he's out, it was 23 to 6.
Wow, that's a huge stat.
Yeah, pretty big stat.
Talib is one of the best in the world.
He's a physical corner, and Thomas is a physical receiver, so it's going to be a good battle there.
He also plays a lot of mental games, which I like to watch.
The Saints, statistically, they have a good run, but with Ingram and Kamara, they have a good run, like ranked offensively. But I mean, we all know the reason for that is because Breeze is having an insane year, and these teams are so concerned about the pass that they're able to run. So we believe that Aaron Donald and Sue are going to be able to apply enough pressure with Talib in the secondary.
And Breeze, we talked about this, but Breeze doesn't like getting hit.
Breeze does not like contact.
We've seen it a lot of times.
It's not that we're saying that he's weak or anything. It's just that he's not a tall player.
He's short.
When you get a huge player like Sue or Donald in your face, he makes mistakes, and that's when he does make mistakes.
I've seen it.
He's very good at getting rid of the ball. I don't think like he's going to get sacked a lot because he's just like Brady. They get rid of the ball. Mm-hmm. But I do think that pass rush is really going to get to him.
So we have the Rams.
Yeah, we have the Rams.
This is interesting. It was Rams plus 3.5.
Right.
And it moved to Rams plus 3.
The money has been going to the Rams.
The half point that they lost signifies that people have been betting on the Rams.
Yeah.
For people might not know that, so we want to say that.
Yeah. No, you're right.
So we got the bet early, so we have an advantage on all those late bettors. We're making more money, potentially.
Yeah. That half point's a big deal.
So we got the Rams. Ladies and gentlemen, we got the Rams, and the bet's already in, so
all right,
we're not here to lie to you. We got the Rams.
It's a bold call from us. I would advise, or we would advise, to take the points, Rams plus 3.
We do think it's going to come down to the end. It could be a very close game. And
it's going to be close.
You want the cushion if you can get it.
If you look at Eagles-Saints last week, the Saints won by 4, I believe.
6. 2014, I think.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's going to be a close game. I think the Rams have much better offense than the Eagles do. Yeah. Even though Foles does play amazing when it's clutch time, but, you know.
So, there you have it. We locked on the Rams, and now we're going to move over to the AFC, which is arguably an even tougher game to call.
Yeah, this game's
We
very
have
hard.
the Patriots going to Arrowhead Stadium to play the Chiefs.
Right.
So, obviously, the matchup everyone's going to see is Brady versus Mahomes, but it's so much more than that.
So, these two have played each other before, and Buck and I also bet on this game.
It was a crazy game.
Insane game.
It was
those you remember.
43-40 victory for the Patriots, and the Chiefs weren't going to cover for the longest time. And I think it was Tyreek Hill who ended up just going beast mode and making the cover for us.
Yeah. We took the Chiefs plus 3.5.
Yeah, and they lost 43-40.
So and they were at home. They were at home again, right? Patriots were on the road?
I'm not sure.
I believe they were at home. Patriots were traveling, which is what the same scenario is right now. Mm-hmm. And same with Rams Saints. So,
I would like to say one thing, Andy Reid is a choke artist. People should consider that.
Statistically speaking.
He chokes a lot, and Belichick is the opposite. So that's what has me leaning towards the New England Patriots. As much as I hate to say it.
It's hard to bet against the Patriots, right?
Always hard to bet against them.
At least in like my lifetime, from what I remember following football, I've never seen the Patriots as an underdog in the AFC Championship.
Yeah, this is the one.
And they are right now. And, I mean, the Chiefs are missing Hunt, and that is a big deal.
And Spencer Ware.
And, I mean, I think it's a huge deal because teams don't have to really worry about that rush as much as they did before when you had an all-star player like Hunt on the field.
Mm-hmm.
Mahomes is obviously amazing, but he's young.
He's a young guy.
And he did step up.
And the conditions aren't going to be that great. The weather.
What is the weather like?
It's going to be like mid-20s.
Yeah, that's cold.
It's cold.
It's a cold game.
It's going to be cold, guys.
I don't think that really is an advantage for either one of them since they're both used to the cold.
Mm-hmm.
Brady's very used to the cold. The Chiefs did step up a lot last week, though, in a matchup that I thought was going to be a lot closer with the Colts-Chiefs.
Yeah, that was a brutal game to watch.
Yeah.
They went crazy on them.
I thought that Colts defense I thought they had a good defense until I saw that game, and I don't know. I mean, either the Chiefs are really their offense is really that good, or the Colts just had a terrible defensive game. But
Well, my brother says they run a Nintendo offense. It's a lot of like video game, like short
Madden.
slants. It's a Madden offense.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure Belichick has answers for.
yeah,
I'm sure.
I mean,
You just gotta think he knows what's going on, and it's not like Belichick's never faced Andy Reid before. They faced each other a lot.
right. One of the two most respected coaches in the league.
Yeah. So, CC.
I mean, the Patriots handled the Chargers just as much as Chiefs handled the Colts, and there's a lot of butthurt Charger fans out there.
I know.
And
we were saying we were gonna call our friend and not tell him he was on the podcast and start talking shit about the Chargers, but he'd probably say a lot of horrible shit.
Yeah, just hear him whine.
But yeah, all you butthurt Charger fans, wasn't your year, guys.
Phillip, I feel for Phillip. I like Phillip, but if he didn't get it this year, he's never gonna get it. Unfortunately, they had a good year. But the Patriots really smoked him,
Smoked him.
But I think that was all coaching because when you look at that, Chargers have a good ranked defense. They have a good offense, and the Patriots shut down that offense in Phillip Rivers, who's a very experienced quarterback. And the Patriots were able to score in bunches on them. So it's like the Chiefs' defense is not good. They are not a good defense.
Brady is never under pressure, and Edelman is always open. So the combo of those two things, Brady's never getting hit, and Edelman's always open. And if by chance Edelman's not open, fucking better believe Gronk is gonna be.
If
It's hard to stop these guys.
If
man.
Josh Gordon was still playing, I wouldn't even hesitate. I'd take Patriots money line.
THC Gordon,
But
Josh THC Gordon.
he's like Ricky Williams.
Mm-hmm. He's the new generation. Ricky
He's done
Williams.
that, right? He's not playing again.
I'm not sure.
So I mean,
So we got the Pats. Let's come out and say it. We got the Rams and the Pats.
I like the Patriots.
Rams +3, and the Pats straight.
Pat's money line is our big call there.
Ooh.
I mean, also though, both these games are going to be so close. You look at the payouts, you look at the lines, and it's like, why not just take the value there? Like either the Rams could win straight up, they could win straight up, and the Patriots can easily win straight up.
For sure.
We just believe that the Patriots have a better shot of winning straight up than the Rams do, so that's why we take the points with the Rams. But I mean, you may as well take the money, right? These games are going to be close. Just put your money down and take the value.
And so, to kind of close things up here, we just want to say to all the fellow gamblers out there, if you love the sport and you really know what you're doing, you should win most games. You don't make emotional bets like we're saying.
Right.
You should be successful. And this was the first episode of the podcast. The name of the podcast is The Spread, but the podcast is not always going to be about gambling. For example, we're going to do an MMA one here shortly. We're going to be talking about NBA frequently. CC loves hockey.
Love NHL.
I'm getting into hockey.
MLB.
MLB, we have some experts in MLB. My good friend Borg is a
we
bona
even-
fide expert.
We even follow tennis and golf fairly closely.
So this is a sports podcast, but we're gonna talk about gambling a little bit.
I mean, that's
We're hoping to have a good string of guests. We're gonna get good guests.
we will have good guests in the future.
Yes.
That is a goal of ours, and we have connections to make that happen. We totally gonna make.
We're gonna
that
try
happen.
to get guests across all sports,
Yeah, every sport.
and we're really excited about this, guys. So this is the first one.
Thanks for bearing with us through the first one.
If it was shitty, fucking let me know. Let us know. We're gonna
for sure,
try.
comment.
We're gonna figure it out, guys. So yeah, thank you. Anything, CC, you want to say?
No, that was it. You covered it.
Rams, Pats, bitch.